everybody, and welcome to our live astrology. We have astrologer and galactic intuitive astrologer Bev Morrison with us here tonight. Bev, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks, Linda, for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Now, everybody can hear me, right? There's no trouble with the audio or the mic or anything. Just want to make sure. And I'm making a reference to my last video. It took me like 5 minutes to realize nobody could hear me. So, anyway,
It happens.
yeah, it does. And I know we're all feeling it, so you guys are just going to have to bear with us a little bit tonight if we have any glitches in the matrix or anything like that. We're going to be talking about the lunar eclipse. Bev's bringing us information about the lunar eclipse, which is 2 weeks before an event. An event is the solar eclipse, and the solar eclipse is going to be on April 8th, as you guys all know. There's a lot of sacred New Earth scribes that are saying right now during this time, the people that are getting hit the hardest are the ones that are the most sensitive. So just keep that in mind. It's said that there would be signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, which includes astrology as a roadmap. Bev, I'm sure that we'll share with you that Laura Walker was talking on Phoenix's show the other night, saying something to the akin of, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bev, something to the akin of astrology is like a key that unlocks the roadmap to astrology. Is that like what she was saying?
It's actually the code. It helps you decode the matrix. That's what astrology is. And that's why they use it on their end. So, yeah, that explained a lot to me. It just, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not junk science. And it's like, if you think about all the people that had power over the masses, if they use it, well, just think about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. And welcome to everybody joining us live. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Amber. Thanks for joining in. If you guys want to, if you feel like when you say hello, just punch in where you're coming from around the world so we can, see where everybody's tuning in from. So besides that, like the last 7 years have been tribulations of, what is it? The blows and the trumpets, or the trumpets and the blows. The 3.5 years of trumpets, 3.5 years of blows or bowls. Am I saying bowls or blows? So you know what scripture I'm referring to here. I'm not like the best at quoting scripture. I've read it, I've studied it, I've come through that, but I know that there's a lot of people that are still very, very what do you call it? Like perfectionist, detail, down to the who's writing which book and what they say, and you can quote scriptures and all. I'm not like that. That's not me. So if that's what you're looking for, you're not going to find that here. But I will tell you, the 7 years of tribulations, they're going off at regular intervals with the lunar and the solar eclipses. And I know that there's people that have said, yes, we have eclipse season every year. There's eclipse season every year. That is true, but for the last 7 years, not to the degree of the precision. And apparently the synchronicities all culminating for April 8th, which actually the end of the cycle is going to be apparently in the fall. So this is what I've been hearing from some of these videos and stuff that we've been watching recently about. What was that one I sent you today? The guy wrote it like 7 or 8 years ago. And he was
7 years ago. Yeah.
7 years ago, he was detailing all of this that I'm saying now. This is why I'm saying it. If I think of it too, I'll put it in the comments if you guys want to go watch that link. He had all of it charted out, and it was with such precision. So anyway, it was just fascinating. It was a fascinating rabbit hole. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be talking about the preceding eclipse. Bev's going to talk about the lunar eclipse, which 2 weeks after that is the event of the solar eclipse. Now, I don't know if it's 2 weeks after that, if there's another event. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the dates or the times or anything for certain major events, or shall we say divine events. But we can all make correlations from the signs that we clearly see and can read the markers and all the deltas and all the checkpoints, if you will, as if you're reading a map, that directly correlate to the new, more galactic science of quantum. And I'm going to call this the inside out science. And if you think about it, it's actually super hilarious because it's from a higher self perspective, or from your spirit's perspective. And that contains the ability to have a direct and symbiotic relationship with your spirit as yourself. So think about this. All the names you've been given and conditioned to think that you're separate from everything outside of your body. It's actually hilarious that science and spirituality come together in the inside out type of perspective that begins with the premise that you are not your body, and that your perspective is directly from knowing you're a spirit having a human experience, the inside out, if you will. So it's super hilarious. All right, we're currently in the Omega run of 10 galactic activation portal days in a row. Currently, we're on day 8, Keen 153, Red Planetary Skywalker. We're receiving intense energies for integration from our most high, divine, galactic, and spiritual light. We are embodying our light bodies as we come to let our human brain operators, or our egos, witness and experience what it means to transform into our light. So there's going to be some true Toto moments coming for a lot of people. Shine on, dear ones, shine on. Tonight, our beloved galactic astrologer, Bev Morrison, is joining us for some wisdom on this roadmap with insights for our personal soul maps. And by the way, if you guys want your personal chart reading, please contact Bev for more details. The links and email information, all the details are in the description. Tonight, and while you're doing that, give it a like. Tonight, we're also going to talk about glitches in the matrix. And yes, we're all having them so obvious right now. It's pretty funny. I got a few pictures I want to share with you about how silly and obvious it's becoming. Live streaming since 1969, but we'll talk about that a little later. First, I wanted to give a couple necessary shout outs of gratitude to Bev Morrison, sister, and James Welsh, Rose Star. Thank you for your monthly donations. Again, thank you guys so much. You know how much it's needed right now and how much I appreciate you both. So thank you very much. And another shout out to Betty for having the courage to step forward again with her Mojave Desert initiation Death Valley experience 3 years ago. Thank you, Sister Betty. We all recognize and we see you for the courage that took to come forward and share. So a lot of people went through major initiations over the last 7-year period. And there's been some painful times. Think about the word tribulation. And you don't have to look it up because I looked it up for you. The first definition is great affliction, trial, or distress, suffering. A synonym would be trial, a time of great tribulation. So the second definition would be an experience that tests one's endurance, patience, or faith. And another synonym could be burden. So Bev, I know that you've been having all kinds of time distortions and major synchronicities and things like that. You also mentioned before that you can never learn astrology completely. You can never really master that because there's always something else to learn. And that's really how life is feeling right now. Like we just don't know and we can't know it all. And, especially now more so than ever before. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that or what's coming up and everything. And I'm going to pull up the chart. So if you want to get into the astrology whenever it feels right to you, but yeah, what do you think about all of that? What are your thoughts?
You were talking about, being since the last 7 years. So look back, last 7 years ago, we had that first eclipse that made the first line across the United States. And I look back and, it seems like that's when things really started opening up for me. And I know when we had Derek on the other week, he said the same thing. It seems to be, look at what's happened in those 7 years. And it's amazing to me. And then you can take it back even a little further too, as far as like the Libra lunar eclipses. We had one of these back in 2016. And then there was another one back in 1996. 2016, it was at 3 degrees. 1996, it was at 4, and we're at 5 degrees now. Oh. So as we're moving forward in that, look back at those times in your life and maybe kind of see what some of the themes were and what you were going through at that time, because it's repeating themes and it's just taking us through the cycles. And it's cycles within cycles is what I'm seeing. And as you start to see all the cycles within cycles, it just it makes your head spin a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, when you said the first eclipse, that was 7 years ago. It's funny, when I was writing all my intro for that and everything, I wasn't even thinking that was the first eclipse, and yet I knew it. It's just some of these things, it's almost like too much information. Our brain just can't hold it all right now. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah. When you look at everything that's happening out, if you want to, you put your foot in there a little bit, in the, what's happening in the 3D. So, kind of what's going on, but with everything that's happening out there and then looking at the energetics and the aspects and the astrology, then you look at the numerology. I mean, it's mind boggling. There's no way that the human linear mind could actually process all this at one time.
Right.
Not at
And
this point in time. That doesn't mean we can't later on,
yeah,
as things evolve and grow.
this is a
But
quick conversation with mom earlier, and they were asking what her sister-in-law was asking when Easter was, or we were just trying to figure out when Easter was, and she was saying November 20.
oh my
Wait, no,
gosh,
that's Thanksgiving. So
oh my
like
gosh.
pretty much our brains right now. Time is just distorted like crazy, and it's pretty funny.
It is, and the energy is coming in. I'm going to give a shout out to Paul White Gold Eagle too.
Hmm.
Um, if anybody doesn't listen to him, take a listen, because man, his scribes have been and straight on and right on things left and right. I mean, it just all the things that we talk about, and I listen and I get all these confirmations from it. And he did a 2-hour special video on the eclipse. Man, he went down some rabbit holes and really dug up a lot of things that I don't think many people are aware of. I know I still learn some new things, and I've been looking into it for the last 6 months or more. So yeah, just a shout out to him and the work that he does. Sure
I
appreciate
love
it.
it. I concur.
Yeah, you turned me on to him about a year ago, and man, I listen every day.
Yeah, it's medicine. He
It
brings the
definitely
medicine.
is. And when you hear that everybody else is going through these same things, with the dizziness, the nausea, all the ascension symptoms and stuff like that, you don't feel so alone at that point. And
Yeah,
it's about
that's
all of
right.
us coming together. That's what we're heading for with this eclipse in April.
Nice. We've got Vicky saying hello there from Northeast Ohio. Hi, Vicky. We've got Amber from Illinois, right by the Mississippi River. All right, welcome. And we also have Andrew Spacetime. Are you still in Mexico, Andrew? Is that where you're at? Group hugs. Sister Angel, she's out there in Washington State holding down the West Coast. Nice to see you. All right. Just a little quick break there to say hi to everybody watching. If you have any questions, you guys want to put them in the chat, that's fine too. Go right ahead. We'll get to it as soon as we can. All right, Bev, I'm going to move back to the chart. Do I have it zoomed in good enough, or can you need me to zoom in anymore?
Actually, that's pretty good, at least for me to see and just
Okay.
kind of point things out. But
Okay.
man, this chart has got some stuff packed into it. I had 2 pages of notes, and there's still things that I didn't cover. Looking at this, we started out with the Pisces new moon back on March 10th, and that started this new cycle. So now that was the beginning of this, and this is wrapping up the cycle with the full moon lunar eclipse. And we've got that full moon sitting there at 5 degrees of Libra. And in Libra, you're looking at the other. What is it that we project? What's being reflected back to us? And you look at the lower expressions and the higher expressions of Libra. You have the lower expressions of codependency, people pleasing, things like that. And the higher is, let's be vulnerable. Let's talk this out. Let's come to some kind of agreement. We can all get on the same page. It's balance, justice, all that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bringing things up around that theme. Now, this chart doesn't show it. It doesn't print the south node. Okay, you see you got the north node there in Aries at 15 degrees. So the south node is at 15 degrees of Libra. So it's looking at past. It's looking at, when I do readings with the north and south node, I really focus in on that, because I feel we came in here with the knowledge of the south node and prior life experiences, and we're looking to raise it to where the north node is in our chart. And that's kind of where our destiny and our lessons that we pick come into play. So it's a polarities. And I look at it as, you've got the sun over there, the light and dark. So what are we facing here on this planet right now? Aren't we looking at the light and dark of everything?
Mm-hmm.
It's a spiritual battle. It's been that way, and it's been going on now for quite a while.
7 years. Well, longer than that, but we're at the end of a 7-year cycle.
Think back to 2017 when that eclipse came through, and think of all the stuff that's changed since then. We went into the pandemic. Things have just been turned upside down. The whole country has. And not just us, it's worldwide.
That was August of 2017. And little did I know that, a half a year later, that my son was going to pass and everything was going to change. He crossed over and my whole world got flipped upside down. And it just, it set things in motion. Like, you just don't know it. And I was saying to my daughters, just to go off real quick, I was talking to them once, and we were saying that everything's measured by his death now in our life. It's before James died and after James died. It's almost like it becomes a marker when you have a trauma like that. So yeah, and we've all been through it. We've all been getting our traumas, haven't we?
Yeah, and it's processing a
Crazy.
lot of that grief too, and it's healing it.
Hmm.
We're at a deep healing spot with everything. We're taking, those things that have been buried and suppressed, and with it being in Libra, it's looking at what is our relationships to others. It's the partnership. It's the spouse, the family, anybody that you're in relationship with, friendship, whatever. It's making us really take a deep look at how we interact with each other, and we got to look at, are we dealing with this from the healed self, or are we going around like Chiron, the wounded healer, wounding? If you don't heal those wounds and do the deep work, you're just going to wound other people, and it's going to be a perpetual cycle. So
As
with
they say.
the eclipse in Libra and the South Node, we're looking to change. I heard that, Linda. We're looking to change those things that past patterns, past things that we've fallen back on, things that we don't even realize. It's in the subconscious. We've got Neptune and Pisces there, and that's at the last 2.5 degrees there of the whole zodiac. So it's pulling up these spiritual things, and during this time, we're getting things through with the downloads, and they're coming in so fast with all those planets up there in Pisces. So in Pisces too, with that, you have to slow down. You have to take that time and set in your own energy and process all these things that are coming in. And that's on a etherical level, and it's on a spiritual level. So you can't make it make sense in your mind.
Hmm.
And right now things are still kind of hazy a little bit, with everything that's coming in. But as we go into the solar eclipse at the beginning of April and we start the new astrological year, I think these things are going to start falling into place. So this is like the last preparation for this big change. And you have to look at it too. We're going from age of Pisces, which has kind of promoted victimhood.
Hmm.
Before that, we came the age of Aries, and that was it's all about me. I'm the most important, the grandiose and the narcissistic thinking. And if
Uh-oh.
you look around at people in charge and things happening around, you'll see we have a little problem with that in the West.
Yeah, you think?
Just
I think
saying.
the jail keepers have a little narcissistic problem.
Just
Yeah.
saying. It's about where you put profits over people. You don't
Yeah.
care, and how do we get to where we're at, and how can we change it? So that's digging up a lot of these themes and just looking at where is it that we really want to go.
Yep. I concur.
Okay, so we're looking at the Libra themes, and Pluto. You see, Pluto is making a trine there to the moon. And Pluto's saying, you got my support. Now it's at 1 degree. It's moved a little forward. It's almost at 2 degrees. So Pluto is in total new territory. It's never been here in our charts before at this point. So we're looking at things in the Aquarius, moving us into the age of Aquarius. How can we take these things forward and do it with humanity in mind and respecting the earth and respecting each other? So Pluto is making sure that we're going to be responsible with all this. Pluto's supporting the moon, and it's also making a sextile to, what did I put down here? It's sextile in the sun in Aries. So it's our core self that's being supported for the transformation, and it's helping with our spiritual self and the deeper feelings that we have with the moon there in Libra. And it's how it all interacts with others. So everything is all connected. And that's something I've been seeing a lot of this last week. I listen to something and I'll go listen to something else, and it's like, no, I just heard that 2 minutes ago. All these confirmations,
I
so
know. Literally, the synchronicities of the confirmations and the validations are coming, like, literally, I'm walking across my room, and I look at something, I'm thinking something, and then they're saying it, like, simultaneously.
yes.
It's like we're in sync with things that we didn't even know. It's like we're recognizing the holographic nature of things, that everything's, like, happening at once. It's just crazy how
Yeah.
seems
And
to
it's just
trigger.
going to keep speeding up. I'll tell you that much too.
Well, it's
It's going to
interesting.
go
It's like
faster and faster.
it gets faster and faster, and then you get to that no time where it's almost like you're floating, sort of. You're just kind of letting spirit lead, and then time doesn't matter because everything gets taken care of when it's supposed to, and you just kind of know that. You just start to trust that, and it gets a
And
little
that's where we're
easier.
at right now with all those
Mm.
planets in Pisces. We're going to have to trust spirit. we're going to have to know that it's okay. We may not know, but if you look at any situation in your life, you've made it through it. You always have. And God, spirit has your back, creator, however however you say it. But yeah, you have to trust in spirit now, because we got all those planets over there in Pisces. We got Neptune getting ready to get to the last couple of degrees. It's a lot of things being brought up from internally, past lifetimes, things that may not even make sense, fears that we've had, but these fears are coming up. And if we take the time to look at them, do the work, and put the work in, man, we have so much potential going forward. That's what this is all about, healing these last wounds. Because when you get to the solar eclipse, it's going to be conjunct Chiron. And what has Chiron been doing? Chiron's been in Aries for the last few years. And man, we've really had to look inside and go look at the good, the bad, the ugly, and say, hey, and even recognize those things in ourselves that maybe we don't want to. It's a little uncomfortable. It's hard to get to that point, but it brings you to your authenticity and who you're really meant to be. Mm-hmm. So it's nothing to be afraid of. But our egos kind of work to protect us. That's what our egos do. So you get in these set patterns and you do things the same way, and you look back and see, wait a minute, did I really act that way? Was that really where I'm at now? So this is a time to say, do I want to take this forward and keep acting like an idiot and wonder why I get the same lessons served to me time and time again? Or do I really want to look at this and dig in? And that's the opportunity that I think we're being given here as we wrap up all these cycles within cycles.
Yeah. Here's Angel saying cement shoes to moon boots. Yes.
Yeah.
Extra crispy. Welcome, and saying very spiritual last couple weeks. And also another one, crazy epic divine ride from Angel here. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Everything what you're saying, Bev, is like happening simultaneously. I noticed that people are having more telepathy experiences that are talking to people that would never have talked about this just 10 years ago. They'd be calling you woo-woo and crazy. And they're talking now about things like, I was just thinking about them. That's why they called, and they're making notes and things about these extra gifts and spiritual stuff. And just wherever you go, the synchronicities are there with people being open-minded about ET, we'll say, being open-minded about the galactic community. It's like they hear so much. We're a spirit having a human experience, or we're multidimensional in nature, or there's energy that connects us all. So there's certain key words and stuff that you see people are waking up. You hear them talking about these things. And there's this soul level connection, because spirit recognizes spirit as higher vibrational frequencies that resonate together. And it's being around people that are like-minded, because we grow even more. And that's our, speeding up of things. I think of time is we're coming to more of an understanding of what the now no time is, the center of all of it, circular time, and it's interesting. Some of these things that are tied in with astrology, like what I said in the beginning, that you said you never really can like master it. You can get really good at certain things and you can learn and learn and learn, but there's always something new to learn. It's like a living library roadmap, literally. Like your energy signatures, everything's harmonics. You could really get down to go from the macro down to the micro. Every cell in your body is following signals and following along structures, whether it's chemical or light signals, what it says, like neurons in the brain, and sending it to the next one. There's always these signals that are running back and forth. And if you look at it on the grid lines, it's the same thing on a macro as it is all the way down to your cellular structure. And I'm sure even bigger than that and even smaller than that. It's just fascinating to me how these things are all coming together now, especially the science of inside out. It's like science is going to be measured from your spirit, not from the physical. Gosh darn it. Physical is just going to be a result of what the spirit is doing. So it's a matter of taking that higher perspective from a spiritual level and using that as your science. Look at it from the inside out instead of the outside in. It's flipping. It's literally flipping.
Everything's flipping. Even if you go out in the store, you're out in crowds or something, I'll catch little snippets of conversations too. And it's people that you wouldn't expect to talk about anything, even whether it's some of seeing what's happening in the world and how corrupt things are. And people are speaking up and speaking out that you just didn't hear this even a year ago, True. People are actually seeing what's going on. And it's like, if there's enough of us, we can flip this thing. We can. I am so ready for it. I'm way past ready for it.
I love seeing people that are really having more meaningful conversations. And
Yes.
it's very important to have those kind of moments, because that's when you stop and there's no time. We talk about time being circular or linear and all. When you stop and you have a conversation with someone and nothing else matters except that moment where you guys are um, being an infinity sign with each other. So if you're looking at the energy, it's going back and forth in a reciprocal, even balanced way. Student becomes teacher, teacher becomes student, and vice versa. You're having a conversation. It's like a symbiotic merging of whatever's important in that conversation. Even if you're just talking about, hey, did you see the birds? And you talk about synchronicities with people, you're bringing awareness to a multidimensional spiritual state, and it enhances that. And I see that people that are just superficial and everything, like, you literally are repelled from you're running from those kind of people now. I
Yeah.
mean, right? You guys put it in the comments if you're experiencing the same thing. So
Or
I
any
know you are.
negativity. It's like, I have no time for drama, and it's like there are more important things here than the pettiness, And I
Yeah.
think too, with this being that South Node in Libra, we're coming to some karmic choice points too.
Mm.
And I think it's really time to either really get serious if you're serious about this or not, and make those changes, because I think time is running out. You pick the side, and there's always time to change the side, but when is that not going to be the case? And I think we're raising the vibration so highly that any lower frequencies won't be able to survive after a certain point. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work, but you can't stay in that lower vibration, because it's not facilitated anymore, and it's not going to be.
Yeah, you're right. And whether it's a bifurcation or they go somewhere else, or it's just like, look, if you think about it, if we just pulled our density up to the 5th day, the 3D is still here right where we are. They get to stay where they are. You
Yeah.
want to stay here on this planet and experience the hell or extinction level events or go through the survival. You want to go through all that, then stay in 3D. But we don't really go anywhere. You're here. You're just now multidimensional with all the blinders off, all the veils are lifted, the Toto moments happened, right?
Right, right. And it's all about changing your perspective, because as you learn, once you learn something, you can't go back, because
Right.
And once you know,
Mhm.
you just want to go forward. At least I do. Yeah, some of these lessons are painful, and a lot of this change is going to be very painful. But if you're prepared for it, and you know what you're dealing with, and you work with the energies, that's how you can make it easier on yourself. At least it'll make sense in a linear type way. Later on, the rest of it will be revealed as we know. But we've got all the support in this chart for it. We've got the support from Pluto. We got Neptune bringing in the downloads. Uh, we've got the North Node. The North Node right now is within, this chart doesn't have Chiron on there, but right now Chiron is at 18 degrees. So the North Node and Chiron are getting ready to make an exact conjunction. And I
Ooh.
didn't get the dates on that, but I know Chiron is going to be conjunct the solar eclipse on the 8th. So we
Oh.
have big healing issues. And that's what's happening right now.
All right, let's
And
put
it's,
it out there. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
oh, it's all right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's put it out here right now then. Chiron's gonna be conjuncting on the solar eclipse. We have to put it out there, guys, for healing. What would be the best healing for those of us that are already, like, say, awakened, or you're on a spiritual path or whatever? And wouldn't the best kind of healing for everybody be veils dropped, seeing all the energy,
Yeah.
seeing everything? Like, wouldn't that be, even if you don't see the truth of something that happened in the past, like, let that go for now. If you can see energy and you can see the multidimensional state full on and everybody can see everybody's energy, wouldn't that be the best healing? Because you can see if an adult is like yelling at a child and stealing their energy, like, you can see it, and the adults would
Yeah.
like see that they're doing it and stop. Like, that's the best way to correct behavior, is to show the truth, I think. Anyway, I'm probably preaching, but that's how I feel.
No, I think it is too, and I think as things evolve, there were those of us who came ahead, and we've been learning these lessons and stuff. And, we've helped other people and stuff, but I think we're almost to a point, you can only help somebody so much. And if they don't want to help, we're
Yeah.
almost to the point of, you know what, now we
You do
just
you.
need to work on our growth. And
Yeah.
as things come together, then we'll have that unity, with the age of Aquarius, and working together in the collective to heal everything else and to take things forward.
Yep. And you can't save anybody else. Like, you're right about that, because you literally, Angel saying she's helping the kiddo guide the kiddos through the adults. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And yeah, your inner child, nurturing your inner child, Angel. Yep. That's what parenting's all about too. But you parenting your own inner child, even if you don't have children. Um, yeah, this age of Aquarius, Bev,
Yeah.
is it's such a weird thing, because there's no like front door gate open green light. Bingo. Now it's age of
Yeah.
Aquarius. Come on in, everybody. It's like this transitional period. And this is the most strangest upheaval kind of time, because I think most of us through our lives have sensed that this life is special or different or very important, or we know the missions, or most of us have had some of those feelings throughout of our life, if not for all of our life. And I think when we're entering a new age like this, and there is no front door, there is no sign other than astrology, which like will
Yes.
point out certain things that line up. And it's been told, like, you know, seeing signs in the sun and the stars and the moon. Like, so here we are. And we have all the signs that we need. We've lived through everything. We put it all together. Everybody's saying the same thing now. And it's like, okay, it's not 2012. It's not Y2K. It's not some end of a partial cycle. We're just here for this thing that's literally X marks the spot, like it's a whole world event for our species. It's a galactic birth.
Yeah.
And I think everybody pretty much is getting the picture now. And nobody's going to be surprised when Toto pulls that curtain back and it's just a man standing behind there. And we're like,
Yes.
oh, Toto moment.
There's going to be a lot of surprises. I mean, even us who think
Yeah.
we know what's going to happen. I mean, we only know so much in this trust and spirit, but I
That's
think a
right.
lot of people are going to be surprised, including ourselves. We're going to look at
Yes.
each other and go, man,
I
look
didn't
at
see
how
that way.
simple
Right.
that was. Yeah. How simple that was. And why didn't I see this before now?
I
I think we're
agree.
going to go through a lot of that.
I can't wait. I'm excited for it.
And right now, too, with that being in Libra, there are a lot of situations and relationships, the things you can't ignore. They're being put in front of you. But if you ask for the help and you do the work, you know what? You can get through them. But it's like you have to look at this now and take a good look at it and see, all right, there are parts of myself that's dying off, yet there are new parts of me birthing. How can I make this transformation and raise our consciousness as a whole and on an individual level too? I mean, this really goes deep. Sometimes I say things and I go, where did that just come from? Because yeah, I mean, it's taking it deeper than sometimes I can handle. But it's all about that. It's just you're getting things put in front of you and it's saying, okay, do you really want to take this forward, or are you tired of getting slapped upside the head? Let's really look at this. And it's all about forgiveness. It's forgiveness of self and others right now. That's what this big healing journey is on. Not only do you forgive somebody else, you have to forgive yourself too. And sometimes that is even harder than forgiving other people. So be kind to yourself. Know that, you know what? We all are where we're at. We can only understand things on certain levels and from certain perspectives. And as we grow, that changes. So, there was a time that you were here and somebody else was somewhere else and knew, and you've crossed paths, you've helped each other grow. I mean, it's amazing what we can do when we join together and help each other. And I think that's what this is really all about.
Yeah, and there's always growth through tragedy and pain and trauma and things like that, but when
Sadly.
you have some kind of event or something and the tribe comes together, think of the village coming together, it happens. You can go out there and survey 100 people and ask them what happens when there's like a fire in the village or whatever. People come together. People
Yes.
help. You grow. You put your differences aside, and that's what happens. So it's just a shame that it has to take something like that for people to recognize that they can have that every day. You just have
Yeah,
to want
because
to embody that.
right. So if we did that every day, things don't have to be so difficult. We wouldn't have the division. And then when you start the division, then you got set everybody apart. Oh, we're special over here. I mean, it's, we're all the same. We're all working, to grow spiritually and raise our consciousness. And that's what these lessons are all about. And yeah, they may be painful as hell, You may have some bad lessons, but I tell you what, sometimes those are your greatest teachers when you sit back in hindsight and really reflect. And as you grow, you can see it again many years later from an even deeper viewpoint. It's just, do you really want to take that look inside and be your authentic self? And that means being vulnerable with others and yourself. And that's not always easy. Believe me, I've struggled with that.
Yeah. Well, it's putting it all together too. It's like doing the life reviews. A lot of people having life reviews, like Derek was talking about, shutting the book and closing that.
Chapters
Everything that you're
closing out.
doing, you're gathering information. You're gathering data while you're down here for your soul, for your Akash, for your soul experience. It's almost like if you're over here, you're your spirit, you're your soul. Let's just say you're the multidimensional I am presence over here, whatever entity that is. And you send a little gopher, which is like the ego, kind of like, go get information in the life experience from 1969 till Ascension. Go collect life experience and bring it back, like every night when you go to sleep. So your little you goes, but you forget every time because they hit you with that Men in Black little pen, little zappy thing.
Yes.
Forget.
Yes.
No, you know what I had experience recently too, Bev, was a lot of the deja vu moments where I remember that I dreamt it many, many years ago or some years ago, whatever, fill in the blank. And I knew that I had that dream and I remembered the specific dream. And it was like, oh, wait, I had this dream and now I'm living through it. Like, I remember like this particular setup or what I was doing in the dream realm. And I saw, I'm like, wait a minute. So a lot of that's happening. Sort of like the past life walls are sort of collapsing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And another thing too, I know you've been feeling it some, and I have, is when you wake up in the morning, man, you feel like you haven't even slept. And I come back and it's like I'm in the middle of a dream and I'm understanding something. And it's no words, it's just being communicated. And then I wake up and try to bring it back. It's gone, forget it. But we've been working a lot, I think, in the ethers at night. So if any of you are feeling tired too, like you haven't slept, well, you probably haven't. You've been out there working at night.
Yeah. I've had both experiences where sorry, I was about to lose my train of thought on that one. Both experiences where you're working at night and you're really, really tired. And then other ones where I've only had 4 hours to sleep and I knew going in and I was like, please, please, please let me have a good night's sleep. Like, let me feel like I slept 8 hours and I wake up feeling great. It's like, what are you setting your intentions for before you go to sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this time change has really messed me up too.
Yeah.
So I've been tired, can't go to sleep. So but I think we're doing a lot of work on so many different levels right now. So kind of be kind to yourself and be understanding and know, hey, we're all rolling through this. We're all doing the work, those of us who choose, and we just got to be there and help each other through it,
Yep. Angel's saying that she's doing a lot of dream time journeys and super tired waking up.
Oh yeah. Yep. Getting the kids up. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, all right. And there we are. Okay. So I'm going to come back to this chart here. Let's see. Did you cover all of your Mercury?
I'm going through my notes because I kind of skipped around a little bit.
Okay.
Other thing I wanted to talk about in there is Venus conjunct Saturn.
Okay.
And that's where I was talking about take the time alone as needed and sit and be in your own energy. Saturn is about timing and divine timing. And Venus, we're talking about our values and the things we love. And look at how we've changed so much, even in the last few years and the way things have changed around us. Let's see. And this is when the downloads integrate and things are put to place for us in ways that we probably couldn't understand. So sit back and just, don't be in a hurry to do anything. I know Saturn is a taskmaster, but it's more about being responsible with these things and doing the work and doing it from a place of love and with intentions of it being the best and the highest good of everybody. Because we're going to have to make some hard decisions during this as we're cutting things out. But, that's what that South Node in Libra is bringing up. what is it that really can't go forward? That comfort zone is good. Yeah, let me sit back and just cruise a little bit. But you know what? You're not learning, and you're getting the same dish served up to you again and again. And no, thank you. I've had enough of that.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I understand. An angel saying Mars question mark. Venus is the one with the plus at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And Mars has the arrow going out.
Yeah. Mars has just gotten into Pisces.
Okay. 147. I see it, Angel.
147. Okay.
If that's what you were saying, the kin number, I see it.
I see it now.
He's silly. And if that's not what you were talking about, it's still 1 degree. It's the beginning of.
Yeah, it's at the first degree.
Yeah.
Almost the second of Pisces. So yeah, Mars is starting a new journey there too.
So when is Venus and Saturn? They're 12 and 16 degrees. When do they? Is this for the eclipse or coming up, or is this?
Yeah, this is for the eclipse on Monday.
Oh, okay, right. That's right. I'm getting confused now. See, there goes that time thing again.
That's all right. That's all right. But looking down here in Taurus now, we've got the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction coming up. I think it's April 21st. I'll have to look back at that date, but we've got that coming up too. And I'm telling you, that's a time when things are really going to shake up, because Uranus is the cosmic mind, the awakener. It makes everything right. And Jupiter expands. So, man, are we going to see some shakeups and some things? And that's after that solar eclipse in April 8th. Again, I think it's the 20th or 21st we have that conjunction.
Wouldn't that be interesting if it was exactly 2 weeks later?
Yeah.
It's going to be in that window, because that would be the 2 weeks after Monday's lunar eclipse is the solar eclipse, exactly 2 weeks later. And then the fellow that wrote that thing was talking about an event always happened exactly 2 weeks after. So 2 weeks after, let me look at the calendar.
Hang on a second. I'm grabbing my ephemeris.
Oh, good. All right. So you were saying something about 2 weeks after each thing. I'm just looking down here because why did they make these?
I got my
calendars?
ephemeris. I'm going to look this up and get an exact date here. I should have had this. I forgot it.
Okay, so no, don't worry about it, you're fine, Bev. I'm just trying to find how I switched to April. Yeah, the calendar on my computer's got me now. All right, so 2 weeks after that would be the 22nd. And I know there's something big going on in April, either the 24th or the 25th or somewhere in there, maybe the 22nd, who knows. But I'm glad she's getting her ephemeris, because then we'll be able to tell what that is. And I'm going to show you guys, if you guys are having glitches in the matrix, if you're having glitchy things happen, we're going to talk about that shortly when we're finished the astrology portion, I think, because there is
that's the 21st. I was right. So that is 2 weeks later. Think about that.
That's the exact, are they exact conjunction you said?
Oh. Yes, that's one of the exact conjunctions.
So guys, that's the date you that's the date you want to watch for. So everybody's going to be like, what's going to happen on the 8th? Well, the eclipse is going to happen. It's going to go into totality. It's going to be cool. Everyone's going to have their little glasses and look at it when, protection, and they're not going to look directly at it and yada, yada. And we're going to have our barbecues, our get-togethers, and we're going to feel wonderful. And then we're going to be like all high on energy. And then we're going to have maybe have a little bit of a crash and tired and integrate for like 2 weeks. And it's going to be like a thing of the past, because 2 weeks will go by. And then all of a sudden, telling you, the 21st, the 22nd of April, watch out that Monday. Boom.
It's going to be shaking the ground, literally and figuratively. Yeah. Things that we thought would last forever, but it's things that have to crumble away before we can go forward. And we all know this year is all about those changes. It has to fall apart before we can rebuild. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let me see what Vicky's saying something here too. 417 through 427. Is that the Vicky, are you talking about the conjunction between Judo and Uranus? Judo. Listen to me. Jupiter and Uranus. Juno. Did I just say Judo? Look at the clock. It said 44:44 when I looked up. Yes.
Juno, you know what? That's what I think she's talking about. So it's a window there. Okay.
Yes. She said yes.
Hey, my eyesight's getting bad. I got the bifocals, but dang, this ephemeris is small to look at. Thank you, Vicky.
Yes, thank you, Vicky. Extra Chris B saying, so it's a good shaking up. Yes.
Yes, it's a
We're
good
going to be able to say, get shook.
It will
I don't
make
even know if
things
that's a thing.
right, no matter how that is. And you're dealing with Uranus, which is the cosmic mind. This is galactic stuff coming in. And hang on a second, there is something I missed here about the galactic center. Okay, Neptune and Pisces right now during this is making a square the galactic center, and that's where we're being asked to have trust and faith, be comfortable sitting in the discomfort, and know that Spirit Creator has the answers. So the galactic center is involved in this too. And Uranus and the galactic center are the cosmic mind and where the info comes from. So I think we're going to get a lot of insights and more things coming through.
Wow.
Jupiter is going to expand it and shake it up even more. If you think the info has been coming in fast, just wait.
I'm just looking at the two triangles here. I'm getting distracted by the sacred geometry on the chart.
That's all right.
I'm seeing ships. I'm seeing tetrahedrons. I'm seeing all kinds of things. Oh my God. And speaking of which, I've been doing a lot of drawing lately, and just at a whole different level than I've ever drawn. I've always been an artist, but things are just really coming in, and there's a lot of ties to the galactic center. So when you said that with the galactic center, is that tied in with the eclipse, conjunct anything in particular?
On this one, the galactic center, you're looking at 27 degrees of Sag, and that's where it's making that, getting that square from Neptune.
Okay, square with Neptune. All right.
Yeah.
And I guess Neptune will be there for a little while because he's further out, so it takes a while to move.
Yeah, Neptune is really slow, so yeah. I'm curious to look at the chart for the solar eclipse because I haven't looked at that yet. I do some digging and things like that, and then I look closer to the time because there's so much info, it's easy to forget things. But I do want to take a look and just see what some of the aspects in that are.
Okay, so comment from Extra Crispy saying, I'm pretty sure the changes has been happening the last month already. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them slow transitions though, because well, I mean, I guess it could be if you're expecting a light switch moment, it could feel slow, but there are big changes for people coming up. Absolutely.
And it's not the light switch moment that we're looking for. I know that's what we all want, the solar flash and to be done. But, as these energies come in, I mean, they last for periods of time. It's not, oh, nothing happened to say no. The energy just came in now. You have to let it unfold. So it's not, the aspects aren't instant solutions or instant everything's good, bad, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time for the energies to dissipate and, things to happen. It's not overnight.
Yep. Just what you're saying. Angel nailed it. Feels like watching the pot for the water to boil. It does. And once it boils, it really gets going, right? It really gets moving. But if you think about all the people that still needed to wake up or still needed to understand, the ones that we were talking about earlier that are now having conversations about their open-minded, think about them not losing their minds or not freaking out and having heart attacks or whatever when something is revealed that's pretty big. Now we're like, okay, we're ready. You're ready for what? Your instant manifestation. So you're ready to hold your hand out and say apple or think apple, and you have an apple in your hand. You ready for that? Are you really ready for that? I don't know. Are we ready? I mean, we say we're ready, but I'm working on practicing things like rehearsing, they call it in psychology, rehearsing things mentally. Everything is mental. Everything is mind. The mind is everything. So if you're in upper dimensions, it's not body, it's mind, it's spirit. So if you're practicing your spiritual gifts, they say one of the first things people do, humans, when they ascend and evolve, and from civilizations that have already done this ahead of us, one of the first things they do is, oh, cool, I'm going to heal my body. Well, they talk about it like it was a light switch moment. There might be that light switch moment at a point, but think about practicing for that point to get there. So it's almost like you're rehearsing in your mind, like, what if you're in your room and like your back's kind of bothering you? So, you might like turn or stretch or whatever. Well, what happens when you start feeling the energy coming out of your hands? Are you going to just wave them around and say, oh, my hands feel hot? Well, maybe you're going to put them on parts of your body that are a little sore. Maybe you're going to stretch a little bit and start to see the field around you. And you're going to practice the sacred geometries around you and using your own healing power to heal your body now. I mean, yeah, you might have to do it every day now just because of the density that we're in. But as we're being lifted, we're practicing our superpowers, because when that comes and that happens, you're going to be ready for it. Yeah. Spirit just goes.
Me too.
And goes
I'm
and
ready for
goes.
this solar eclipse for sure.
Old energy coming in, loads of downloads and old energy. Oh, you mean like ancient memories, right?
Yes, yes. Even fractals and parts of ourselves that we don't recognize anymore. It's been so far out there. That's coming back in too with that south node. We're bringing ourselves back into that wholeness. We're calling in the parts, and that's how we're making these karmic choice points, and things are falling together. That's why we're releasing and growing, so these things can come back and we can be our authentic selves. The more fractals we call back in, the more whole we are. And as a collective, think of how that can work too.
Mm-hmm. I can already see it. I can already see it, sis. I can't wait. I'm excited. All right. Well, is there more astrology or?
No, I think I've pretty much hit on just about everything that I was looking to talk about, and then some. But yeah,
all right. No, that's good.
It's some powerful stuff, and I hope everybody just rides through it and make it as easy on yourself as you can. Whether that's caring for your energy on a daily level, taking time out, find that time. Because when you have all those planets in Pisces, that's the time to really go inside and do that deep work. I know we're out of Pisces season, now, and we're going into Aries, but the new astrological year does not start until the solar eclipse. So we're still wrapping up the last of that stuff in Pisces.
You got a fan club.
Oh, thank you, Angel.
So if you guys don't have your chart yet, if you want to get a chart reading done, please go on over to mysoulsongs.com and check out Bev's website. And at the very least, get on the email list. I'm sure she'll send one out eventually. He hasn't gotten to that yet because, hey, look, I haven't. I don't either. I don't either. And I know I should, but you know what? I'm not going to shit all over myself anymore. So whatever.
Life has been what it's been, and it hasn't permitted time for that yet.
Oh, Extra Crispy saying thanks for the knowledge, Bev. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I want to ask you guys, I mean, you're so full. Please feel free to bring it right back into astrology. If you guys have a question or comment, please throw it in there. I do. And Vicky also saying real quick here, she agrees Bev does rock. Yes, she rocks.
Thank you, Vicky.
So I really wanted to talk to you guys about the Matrix glitching, because we know the Matrix has been glitching. And I was joking around about, well, first, yeah, let's do this first. Let's bring this up. And I'm going to bring this up for you guys, if I can find it. Hang on. I'm going to bring it over here. Stop screen share. Sorry, I'm still with the technical stuff in the back here. I do have it, I promise. Have you guys had any glitches in the Matrix? While I'm pulling this up, I'll just keep talking. I've had glitches in the Matrix. And I'm bringing these up to show you because YouTube apparently... YouTube, after our last live, YouTube decided it was going to do something really special for me. And it was showing this live stream. I think you can still see it if you go over there and click on the live tabs. Look when my live stream started.
1969.
Mm-hmm. And that was my birth year. This is a screenshot. I don't even use Facebook anymore. And I don't, if you look at these things down here, I don't do Patreon anymore. And it's just funny because this is what I used 3 years ago. And it's funny how things are coming back. Wow. And it's and it's not in there when I go to edit and manage my videos. So this to me is a glitch in the Matrix, but this also was sort of a joke and a wink from my Galactic team, because it was like them saying, basically you've been live streaming your whole life. Like we
Yeah.
are, because I had this thing, like I always had this theory that we're broadcasting all the time. And I've talked about it, quite often, Bev,
Yes.
and it's like we're always broadcasting. So like, no, your thoughts are not private. And if you think so, then boy, they got one over on you good, didn't they?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so this was sort of like a wink and a nod from my Galactic team to show me that, I wasn't born in December, but I was born in May, but it was still showing me we're always broadcasting. So that was the first one. Another one my mom got, and I had to get her screenshot from this one because it was a really good one. Let's see if this one. Check this out. She got a call from Spain, and I guess the country code is 34, which is a 7. I didn't even look it up because I just thought it was really funny. 2 entirely different phone numbers from Spain came in at the same time.
At the same time. Wow.
The same exact time, and it just spit out 2 numbers. It only rang once, like one phone call came in, and there was 2 different phone numbers. I consider that a glitch in the matrix. I don't know about you guys. And I know if you're expecting some really fabulous things, you can go over to my Instagram. It's Teach Peace Designs, or at Teach Peace Designs. You can go over there, or you can look at my community posts. I try to post things here on YouTube on the community post, and I try to post things over on Instagram when I get pictures like with lights around me, or if the sun's coming in and it's just blurring out like it looks like this awesome light field that it's really cool. Or if I'm looking up at the sun and I take a picture because I'm guided and I see all these rainbow rays coming out of it, and it's like, check this out, I'll try to post that for you guys so you can see them. I don't consider those glitches. I consider that peeking through the veil, seeing the real world.
What's actually there. That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Exactly. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Yes.
You nailed it.
And yes, broadcasting, or is it remote viewing? Interesting. Well, we could be remote viewing ourselves if you want to really get deep about that one. But broadcasting, if you're thinking something, you're sending it out like a signal. If you're receiving like a download, you're receiving and sending, but it's all tied to your breath, your conscious breath. I heard somebody say recently too, I'm so-and-so, I'm such and such years old, meaning older. And instead of doing a pulmonary rehab thing, they were saying like, I don't need to learn how to breathe again. Like apparently I'm not breathing right. And it's funny because your breathing is your physical way of, you're breathing. You don't have to think about it, right? If you stop breathing, you die. Makes sense, right? But if you actually consciously breathe, you can breathe a lot less. You can slow your heart down. You can change your pulse rate. You can do all of these things. Think about the Navy SEALs that can hold the breath for like 6 or 7 minutes underwater, or whatever, however long they can do it. You can train yourself to do these things. So if you can train yourself in your breath, in the moment, the pause that's between the out breath and the in breath, not the in and out, the out breath, pause, and then the in breath, you can create entire universes in that pause. It's just so powerful. And when you allow yourself to just kind of settle into that and pause, and you realize how long you can actually take a breath, hold, pause, breathe out, hold, pause. It's the panic that makes us think we have to breathe quicker and faster. But you can, in 1 or 2 breaths, once you get that down, conscious breathing, you can send so many light codes to your own body, to other people, to the structures around you, to the light fields and the grids that you're connected to, for the greater good of all. I know it sounds grandiose, but like literally our conscious breath is helping enable us to send out what we're doing for ourselves and send it out like decentralized light codes for everybody. Light codes for you, light codes for you. Everybody gets the light codes. That's how I see it. Oh, Bev. I don't know. Sometimes it's just so powerful that you don't even know what to do with it. It just knocks you on your ass. Like the most sensitive people, they were saying, are getting hit the hardest.
Yes. It has been coming in so fast. Me and Linda were like talking the other day, and I'm glad we understand each other because we were both changing subjects. One of us would say something and then it would take off in a total different direction. We would just, somehow we followed each other. So it was quite amusing because the thoughts are coming in before you can even put them in word form, and the next thing you're on to something else.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. Trying to hold it all together. It's crazy. But you know what? Keep a sense of humor. Keep your light. Keep your light. Keep your might light, because it will be right. I'm hearing a lot of rap songs and poetry again, so my soul's not far away.
Uh-oh.
I don't like
Uh-oh.
rap songs. I'm not a big rap person. I don't say I don't like it. I'm just, it's not my genre first choice, but
Yeah.
sometimes I just hear things in a rap beat that rhymes. It's like my soul talks in rhyme all the time, and it's hysterical.
Me and songs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Angel saying holding it together with duct tape and bubble gum. Yeah, right.
And whatever works at this point. Yeah.
Super sensitive, crispy to people's energy, can't be in crowded places. Yep. Yep.
Definitely.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Been there. Done. Still do that. I think we try to avoid the discomfort and pain of other people sucking on us. I was literally running down the hall to get away from somebody today that I just kept walking, but I wasn't going to stop and fall for the same game of
Yeah.
being, have my energy drained from me. When you just keep going.
And we're
Right?
being shown
Don't
these things too, so we can practice them. I really
Yes.
believe that.
I believe you're right about that too. I think we got a lot of practice in. So let's see, what do we got coming up, Bev? 2 weeks is we're going to be out in Ohio, so we may live stream from out there. I think that would be a good idea if we want to do something like that.
Yeah, if we could do that, that'd be great.
I know Derek's going to be live streaming the eclipse, so if you're not on Derek's station, Guiding D, as in dog, no offense, roof, Guiding D light. Go over there because he'll be live streaming. He's going to have a camera set up and everything. He's going to do the whole event. So you'll get to see that. And we'll probably pop on over to the cameras and say hello. And I'm working on a few. I'll just give you a little sneaky peek here. Actually, there's 3 of them, but I only have 2 right at my hand. I'm working on a couple of really cool things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna show too close, but we'll show later. A couple gifts,
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Even if we just pop on there and say something, because man, I have a feeling everybody's gonna be feeling the energy. It's gonna be a very interesting day.
It is. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so what if there is like the 2-week marker thing is something, and 2 weeks after that, so everybody will be back in their own places and their own spaces and with their loved ones, and we'll just all have to weather, if it's a storm, we weather the storm together from our own spaces, and it won't be like chaotic of like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? I don't know. Like everybody will be prepared.
Yeah.
You're prepared, you're ready. You're more ready for this than you even know. That's what I feel.
I think we came here prepared for this. It just had to take the lessons to get us to where we're at,
Yes. Calling back all my energy, Chris is saying, energy vampires, weren't we just saying too that they're done? They're gone. There was like exorcisms, and there's like an ongoing exorcism. One of the sacred scribes keeps talking about it too.
Yeah, the energy just can't. It's so dense. It can't exist anymore. They're being made to face themselves. And then, there, it's all what you want to do with it.
I love it. I think Angel sums it up perfectly.
Yes.
I was born for this shift.
Amen.
Yep. All right. Well, you know what, guys? Stay tuned. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up. Follow spirit-led life. There's not really too much else we can tell you. There's plenty out there.
Time to yourself. Take that time to yourself and work on you. Because right now, that's really what you want to do with all those planets in Pisces anyway. It's that internal. Take that time, even if it's, half hour locking yourself in the car, somewhere away from anybody. Just do it. Whatever you got to do to get the time.
That's right. Time for yourself is really, it's sacred space. Create that sacred space for yourself. And lock yourself in the bathroom or the car, like Bev says. Lock yourself in somewhere if you have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
everybody else is going through it too. So don't be tough on yourself or others at this time. If it's something that you don't, it's kind of like pick and choose your battles. Don't get into something necessary that you don't need to, unless it's something that you feel you need to address at that point, then do it. But, stay out of everybody else's messes, if you can.
Yeah. I am the storm.
I like that.
That is our mantra. And I keep hearing about the storm, Chris is saying. I am the storm. And also, thank you very much for your love and light, healing the inner child and past traumas. That's good. We all need to do that.
Yes, we do.
We all need to work on our own shift. Shift. It's a good word. It's a
I
very
like
good word. All right. Well, I'm kind of spirit has tapped out for now. So I've been really, really working on just trying to be able to show up. So I'm really glad and thankful and grateful that you were showing up here tonight, Bev, and willing to do the work and let spirit lead the way. Thank you very
uh,
much.
thank
Thank you
you.
so
And
much,
I hope
sister.
somebody heard something they needed. You know, that's what it's all about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Okay. Well, I don't know when the next time's going to be, except we'll just say in 2 weeks we got the eclipse. So tune in and look for our lives, and if not, you'll find us on the eclipse day out in Ohio with Brother D, Guiding D Light Derek,
Yes.
and just be a little bit. I love you too. Thank you all for showing up. Thanks for your
Oh,
comments. You know, your conversations are really just your ongoing stuff and how your nice community here. I love you guys. I love you so
yes.
much.
Thank you all for
So
being here.
yes, Bev, any final last words?
Now just stay in your lane and know this too shall pass. And that's really about it.
Famous final countdown, famous final last words. That's it. So just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. And
Don't be food.
don't be food. Peace. We'll see you next time, guys. Love you. Bye.